friends, welcome to Startup Talks. Startup Talks is basically a series of talks wherein we interact with startups and get to know their interesting journey. Today, we have a very interesting story lined up for us. The pollution levels in the cities are rising, and the ill effects are clearly visible on today's generation. So much so that a city like Delhi had to resort to the odd even rule to counter those ill effects. What will we give our future generations? The pollution levels are basically a reason of the vehicle emission levels. Today we have with us Rahul and Ajay from Menza Motors who are into the electric vehicle space. So let's talk to them and let's try to understand how are they going to change the environment. Rahul and Ajay, welcome to Startup Talks.
Thank you.
Yeah, talking to you first, Rahul. How did the idea of Menza Motors come about?
So I think if I look at what we are trying to do, and I think it is the most logical thing that any 23-year-old would want right now. But still getting to the fact that how did we actually get to, making an electric motorcycle, the story is pretty kind of non-glamorous because I just went out to buy a motorcycle for myself.
Okay.
And I have gone to a number of brands, and 180 to 250cc kind of motorcycle was what I was looking for.
Right.
And while I was searching for that product, I realized that brands over the years have started cutting corners.
Okay.
The quality and the fit and finish of a product that I see 1 year ago when it was built out of India, and then the same product 1 year later when it started being built in India by a different company.
Right.
The quality of the overall product, the components and the life of it, there was serious issues that I noticed.
Okay.
And so there is one thing that I just wanted to have the best motorcycle I could have.
Okay.
And that is the only thing that because of which we set out to build one motorcycle.
Okay.
And that one motorcycle was so good,
Right.
that we just had to do Menza Motors and give it to everyone in the ecosystem.
Okay.
So it was kind of a gradual roller coaster from thought to thought and process to process and
Right.
component to component that
Right.
we decided that we could make a brand and a company and a compelling product that people would actually love to spend money and own. So that is kind of our goal, and that is why we set out to build Menza Motors.
So Ajay, coming to you, what kind of challenge did you face in terms of the designing of the product?
Like lot of constraints like length of the package, the battery size. So I have a package where I have to build on it.
Right.
So it's pretty difficult for me, and the thing was like even economic wise and all, like the position,
Right.
the handlebars, the
Right.
where to sit. So I have a certain area where
Right.
only I have to design. So if you ask about a motorcycle also, it's a combined product.
Okay.
So it has a lot of things to design. So we have a lot of like word level product design we have done on this.
Right.
You can not even see in other motorcycle also.
Okay.
So, and even if you design a bike, we have to see the market that is in India.
Right.
So we need to specify like what kind of motorcycle we should move on to.
Right.
And one more thing is like we need to see the current scenario, like
Right.
traffic,
Right.
and then how the bike should be.
Right.
So the position
Right.
and those things. So
Right.
it was pretty challenging for me.
So Rahul, Ajay just mentioned that there were challenges in terms of the traffic, in terms of the localization of the product, right? Now, at what stage is the product right now, and when do you intend that you could actually launch the product into the market? That's awesome.
So, kind of our product, which started off to be an assimilation of components that just kind of had to prove the fact that you could propel a motorcycle with a battery for a good amount of kilometers.
Right.
From that going to something that we could define, it has been done in about record time of 13 months.
That's awesome.
So in many which ways, we are one of the fastest companies to put a product from prototype to production.
Okay.
And without sacrificing on any of the weird and strict and stringent and kind of obsolete vehicle safety and emission norms.
Rahul, coming to you now, like electric vehicles, this is not like a new concept in the Indian market, right? There have been other competitors also, maybe you would want to call that competition that are there in the market, right? So what is it that makes Menza Motors stand out?
So competition has the space that we are in,
Right.
the best thing that we could have right now is
Right.
competition.
Okay.
So basically, we are fighting against an industry which is now a dinosaur.
Okay.
It has grown beyond its means of managing itself.
Okay.
So the oil industry, Russia, kind of the amount of oil that we are now sucking out of the earth.
Right.
And Elon Musk had once said that it is the dumbest experiment that we are doing.
Okay.
Of pulling out carbon from the ground,
True.
burning it and just storing it in the sky. That is the dumbest thing we could do, and kind of it is at its peak right now.
Right.
And it will only get worse.
Right.
But so there is a very fine line that has to be drawn between competition and kind of what we are doing. So we personally do not compete with an electric vehicle company today.
Okay.
So I want to compete with a petrol bike
Right.
that you would rather buy right
Okay.
now. So a lot of customers today have not experienced our product,
Okay.
and so they would rather buy a petrol vehicle.
Okay.
And I'm competing with all those petrol vehicles.
Okay. So Rahul, you mentioned that for you competition is not vehicles who are into the electric vehicle space, but more so into the petrol vehicle space. You want the user audience to basically migrate from petrol to electric vehicles, right? Now there have been a lot of brands in the petrol space, and they have done a lot of brand building activities over the years, right? So going ahead, how do you want to build Menza at a brand, and what are your plans for brand building?
I believe that there are more technology savvy people in this country than there are people who drink chai,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So in that very fair comparison, we have completely rested our branding efforts onto the design philosophy.
Okay.
And Ajay would kind of just throw light onto how we have squared down onto what things to put right
Okay.
in terms of the design.
Okay.
So
Yeah, Ajay, please.
So coming to the design language, we
Right.
mainly focused on user-based design.
Okay.
So it's like it creates the identity of each people. So
Okay.
the design we provide is like certain people. If you see the people, they have different identity. So the bike we have, like in each bike you can see certain identity, just like bespoke
Okay.
customization.
Okay.
That kind of design we provide.
Okay.
So the design is not just and the brand is not just Menza,
Okay.
because every bike has a name.
Right.
So when was the last time you gave your car a name? It's been long, and we have kind of developed a system where every bike has a name. Every bike is a personification of the rider,
Okay.
and every rider and bike is a brand in itself.
Okay.
So maybe the first set of bikes are going to go out to people who really believe in something, they
Okay.
stand for something,
Okay.
and maybe that is something that would kickstart our brand building efforts.
So now petrol bikes versus electric bikes, right? If you could talk about this segment, and why would a person want to go for an electric bike? Why would you want to shift from a petrol to an electric vehicle?
From a very fundamental perspective as to is it a different bike? No, it is exactly like your petrol bike.
Right.
But the only difference is in the transmission.
Okay.
And the transmission basically is something that engineers across the globe have been working on.
Okay.
And we have kind of taken the transmission in electric vehicles in general is pretty simple.
Okay.
And I think Ashay could throw more light onto, because he kind of heads the transmission and our efforts in making these vehicles efficient.
Okay.
So I think Ashay could throw some light onto what are the basic differences in our transmission system, and that kind of differentiates a petrol bike from ours.
Yeah.
So if we consider a petrol engine, they are working it on from very long time,
Right.
and lot of development phase is going on right now also. So
Okay.
they come up with two-stroke engine which was less efficient, and now they are going through a lot of development stages.
Right.
But if we consider an electric vehicle, if a person want to switch to electric vehicle, they are not losing anything.
Okay.
Like actually they are getting more benefits out of electric vehicle,
Okay.
because there is lot of stability in a riding, lot of acceleration, lot of torque,
Okay.
and performance is also better than a petrol vehicle, I guess. Yeah.
So the fact that we have just one moving part,
Right.
which is our motor,
Right.
that basically helps us, excel in terms of the overall motorcycle feel of the bike. And we think that is somewhere that it is a no compromise product to a petrol bike.
Okay.
And that is something that we are betting on very heavily.
So Rahul, if you could just talk about the growth plans, and what do you have lined up for Menza Motors in the future?
We want to be not just an electric vehicle company, but overall kind of a green energy management kind of company where we integrate our battery packs
Right.
along with the grid.
Right.
We are looking at a possibility in just revolutionizing the way police departments function,
Okay.
because we have seen a user case where our motorcycles are of extreme value to the police today.
Okay.
So you take a solar charger,
Right.
place them at every police station,
Okay.
and then you give a police station 2 motorcycles.
Okay.
Today, those 2 motorcycles are replacing the traditional petrol run motorcycles.
Okay.
And there has been studies that show that theft of petrol in these public services kind of industries is huge.
Okay.
So the government is losing a lot of money.
True.
You put an electric vehicle along with solar charging,
Right.
and you have free police access.
Right.
The product itself has technology built in. So for example, a customer could have an app
Right.
that has an SOS button that
Okay.
pings the closest policeman motorcycle to reach there.
Okay.
So we believe that with our system, once we integrate our system into the world in general, we would just be able to build a much better society.
Okay.
So we want to do skateboards, we want to do bicycles, we
Okay.
want to do motorcycles,
Okay.
we want to do light commercial vehicles,
All right.
passenger auto rickshaws,
Okay.
anything with one wheel or more that can move and that can help a man go from point A to point B in the most efficient manner is
Okay.
what Menza plans to do.
Okay, you've got big ambitions. We wish you all the very best for that. The kind of challenges that a startup face, you have gone through that phase, right? And you will obviously be facing that in future. So if you'd want to leave a message for aspiring startups, what would that be?
I can't take advice.
Okay.
So I will not give any advice, but there are certain pointers that most startups could kind of keep in mind.
Okay.
Firstly, the industry. So we are taking on a very big industry.
Okay.
And it has taken us 3 years of being in stealth, of just not getting appreciated for our work.
Okay.
So we believe that is an integral part of kind of having a startup and building a product, that you have to be ready that you might not get appreciated for
Okay.
it. And it has been long and it has been tough.
Okay.
So I think the team dynamics that need to be built, that is very, very essential in a business like ours.
Okay.
So the reason why we have got so far is we have a very close-knit, very efficient team, and the entire team is aligned to just one goal, irrespective of whatever. So that is very important, and I think the major reason or the major issue that startups could be facing, irrespective of their industry, is kind of managing when is the right time to get your product to hit the market.
Okay.
And that is something that we have been just completely as a team split over certain, and there have been amazing arguments
Okay.
as to should we launch now.
Okay.
So we wanted to launch it in November,
Okay.
right? And we could have launched it in November.
Okay.
Actually, it is no big deal, but we just wanted to perfect every single thing. So kind of timing to market, I think that is something that startups should focus on.
Okay.
And make sure that they time their product and launch and everything around it perfectly. So maybe that is something that I have learned, and hopefully that could be helpful to someone.
It was a pleasure talking to you, Rahul and Ashay, and we wish you all the very best for your venture, and very good luck to you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ashay.